Oh no. What's going on in China? China. Something's not stirring the Kool-Aid apparently. Allegedly some bad shit is going down in China. Apparently, well, the military's like, they're kind of like in that kind of like pre-Civil War. I'm not over here like Tim Pooling it up saying that they're definitely going to have a civil war. Civil war's coming, guys. No, it's more like but this is the type of stuff that happens before you have a civil war, or at least before you have a coup d'état. You know, let's let's dive in, find out what's going on with Winnie the Pooh and his military people. Shout out to the Hill and Gordon G. Chang. Hmm. In what could be the most dangerous development in the world today, the Chinese military is tearing itself apart. Dangerous for China, not necessarily dangerous for anybody else. Unless you're saying that if China goes full civil war, that the entire world would be affected. I mean, the entire world buys so much Chinese shit that probably it will be, but like, is it dangerous? Or, I mean, is China going to start like launching nukes? What are we talking about here? Xi Jinping has been purging officers for more than a decade. But other officers, it appears, are now purging Xi's loyalists. The main propaganda organ of the People's Liberation Army is printing pieces openly criticizing his rule. Based. The Chinese military is apparently embroiled in its worst crisis since Marshal Lin Biao died in a mysterious plane crash in 1971. Lin fled either after a failed coup attempt or after being blamed for one. General He Weidong, I love Chinese names, the number 3 ranked uniform officer, was reportedly detained on March 11th after the end of Beijing's major political event of the year, the so-called 2 sessions. So far, there is no confirmation of the initial report on this by citizen journalist Lanjian. Zhao Lanjian. My bad. I'm gonna fuck these names up a lot. General He was instrumental in Xi's earlier purges in the military, so his disappearance, if confirmed, could indicate a great threat to Xi's authority. Charles Burton of the Synopsis uh, think tank told me. Uh, yeah, that's not the end of the quote. The unquote was sorry about that. Here, let me do that again. Quote: General He was instrumental in Xi's earlier purges of the military, so his disappearance, if confirmed, could indicate a great threat to Xi's authority. Unquote. Charles Burton of the Synopsis think tank told me. I assume this is Jordan Chang saying that this Charles Burton of the Synopsis think tank told him. So this is kind of common in China. People just kind of vanishing into thin air. There's the famous video of Hu Jintao, who was Xi Jinping's predecessor, the guy who sort of groomed Xi for his position and kind of helped him become the president of China. Like him just suddenly getting picked up and carried out of a room by Chinese agents, and then nobody has seen or heard from him since. The news of the disappearance of He, the second vice chairman of the Communist Party's Central Military Commission and former commander of the All-European Eastern Theater Command, has been accompanied by other unconfirmed reports last week of sackings of senior officers. For instance, General Xiao Keshi, a former member of the commission, may have been formally arrested. The possible detentions of He and Zhao follow a Financial Times report of other demotions immediately before the 2 sessions, the annual meetings of the National People's Congress and the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. Journalist Jennifer Zhang, in a March 13th X post, asked if, quote, factional struggle within the military entered a new phase. The answer is most certainly yes. Considering that I'm one of those people who thinks China is the real enemy in the world right now, this is just good news to me. I'd rather, see China fighting itself than trying to fight us or anybody else. And I'm sure this is making all the other Asian countries happy. especially Taiwan. Xi Jinping, since being named General Secretary of the Communist Party in November 2012, has purged officers obstinately for corruption and resurrected the People's Liberation Army. Both moves resulted in his taking firm control of the military. Yet two recent waves of purges, the first beginning in 2023 and ending in the middle of last year, and the second beginning in November of last year, have targeted officers loyal to Xi in two factions: the Shanxi gang and the Fujian clique. Interesting. There are two likely explanations for the recent targeting of Xi loyalists. First, Xi could have become a Stalin-like paranoid. Had become a Stalin-like paranoid and is taking down people he previously selected. Second, Xi's enemies might be removing Xi's officers. Why not both? You know, these kinds of purges are common in communist dictatorships. Stalin did it. You know, the Kim family in North Korea did it. You know, not unheard of. Of the two, the second explanation is more likely. Why? Because while Xi loyalists are being removed, PLA Daily, the Chinese military's main propaganda organ, ran a series of articles praising collective leadership, a direct rejection of Xi's continual calls for unity and centralization of control. These articles, which began appearing in July, were written by those aligned with the top-ranked uniformed officer, Central Military Commission Vice Chairman General Shang Yuxia. The propaganda pieces could not have appeared if Xi were in complete control of the military, and I would say that's likely true. That means there is elements of the military that he obviously doesn't have complete control of. Quote, what is starting to become purge season around the regime's two sessions should be a warning to all, or a warning that all is not well in China, Blaine Holt, a retired Air Force general, told me this month. Quote, the extraordinary successive purging of such a high proportion of senior military officials suggests that this is more than just rooting out of corruption and associated ills, Burton points out. Severe dissatisfaction with Xi's rule by significant factions of the Chinese Communist Party and of the party's People's Liberation Army suggests that the current leadership of China faces an existential threat. Xi's weakening hold over the military, which reports that the Communist Party and not the Chinese state complicates the situation. Whoever is controlling the purges, Xi or his political enemies, the Chinese military does not look either stable or loyal to China's paramount leader. Yep. The spat of confirmed disappearances of senior officers since 2023 is unusual, and the new rumors are especially troubling. Even if all the fresh rumors are untrue, possible, the fact that they are circulating tells us that there are elements trying to destabilize the Chinese ruler. You know, and that's the thing. Even if this isn't true, the fact that this is like coming out of the Chinese military on top of the stuff that's critical of Xi's leadership, you know, something's not stirring the Kool-Aid. You know, something is rotten in the House of Denmark. A Xi under siege could decide to lash out, as Holt points out. Quote, danger to the regime could have global consequences as Xi and the CCP consider options to save themselves. There is a lot we do not know, so anything can happen at this moment. The Chinese regime, as it goes to war against itself, can now take the world by surprise. Yep, Gordon Chang is the author of Plan Red, China's Project to Destroy America, and the Coming Collapse of China. Well, you know, what did Sun Tzu say? Never interrupt an enemy while he's making a mistake, or was that Napoleon? Let's find out. Let's ask Grok. Who said never? You guys get to see how terrible of a speller I am, because I'm very bad at spelling. The quote, never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake, is commonly attributed to Napoleon Bonaparte, the French military leader and emperor. While there's no definitive record of him saying these exact words, it aligns with his strategic thinking and is often cited as one of his maxims in discussions of military tactics and strategy. The phrasing may have been popularized or adapted over time, but Napoleon remains the figure most associated with the sentiment. So Napoleon, not Sun Tzu. But still, this is, I mean, it could be bad, but I think the idea of a coup, I mean, it could be bad. There's tons of ways this could go tits up for everybody, but I don't know. Watching your enemy tear itself apart without you having to be involved at all, you know, happy accident. Smash that like button. Smash it. Smash the like button and sub and comment and follow my links and sub to all my other channels and follow me on X, and you know the drill at this point. Throw me a bone.